We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some potentially huge news regarding the status of Roman Reigns in WWE. While some fans were initially very happy when Roman Reigns unified the WWE and Universal Championships after defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 38, the quick or abrupt change of Roman Reigns' career in WWE after WrestleMania has really caused many fans to question if it was a good idea for Roman to win both the WWE's World Championships. Whether we like it or not, Roman Reigns has transitioned into becoming a part-time superstar for WWE, with Reigns also set to make many more extended breaks from the company moving forward, including a complete 10-week hiatus this summer, which will see Roman Reigns miss many pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell this weekend and Money in the Bank 2022, with Roman's status for SummerSlam 2022 also reportedly still up in the air, which is a truly bad sign. With Roman Reigns being the biggest drawing superstar in WWE right now, and not only that, holding both the WWE and Universal Championships, the WWE has been in some trouble lately when it comes to the fan interest in Raw and SmackDown's product lately, as neither show has a world champion anymore, and the WWE's biggest star Roman Reigns is no longer an active part of the company, which really is something that few fans saw coming, considering Roman was such a huge part of WWE the last couple of years, and was really carrying the SmackDown brand on his back with his bloodline stable. With Roman Reigns putting forth a lot more focus on his Hollywood career now, Roman's WWE career is being put on the back burner for the time being, and according to a new backstage report, Vince McMahon and other WWE officials are legitimately contemplating the idea of Roman Reigns making a return to WWE, likely on SmackDown in the coming weeks, and announcing that because of his career aspirations outside of WWE, he can no longer fulfill his duties as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and that the WWE needs to move on without him while he is away, with Roman Reigns then vacating his undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And apparently, if WWE do move ahead with the idea of Roman vacating his titles, the undisputed WWE Universal title would likely be split up, with the vacant WWE Championship once again returning to Monday Night Raw, and the Universal Championship would remain on SmackDown. Now, this idea is apparently being considered right now because Roman Reigns' status is very up in the air and unclear for SummerSlam 2022. So if Reigns will not be at the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, Vince McMahon wants to still be able to create some huge buzz for the pay-per-view, with it likely that the vacant Universal and WWE Championships would be on the line at SummerSlam, with a few big Raw superstars challenging for the vacant WWE title, and some SmackDown stars challenging for the vacant Universal Championship. Having Roman Reigns vacate the titles is likely the best option for WWE right now, because there's no doubt Vince does not want Reigns to have to actually lose the belts and take a clean loss, as WWE have put so much time and energy in really establishing Roman Reigns as being nearly untouchable, but at the same time WWE cannot continue without their world titles on their shows, and the company are forced to consider this decision, otherwise the WWE would risk losing even more interest from fans, because if you hadn't known, this week's episode of Monday Night Raw drew the second lowest viewership in the history of the show on the USA Network, and there's no doubt that the show not having a world champion is certainly partly responsible for the terrible ratings lately, and SmackDown has also been garnering much lower viewership as well lately, now that Reigns has basically walked out of the WWE for the summer. With Roman Reigns' status in WWE for the summer being very bleak, WWE are now having to consider options to help bring some more buzz to Raw and SmackDown going into SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns returning to essentially vacate his championships and then walk out is a real possibility according to backstage rumors. While it is unknown who exactly WWE would have challenge for the potentially vacant championships at SummerSlam would remain to be seen if this does end up happening, but it is likely Brock Lesnar would be returning for SummerSlam, and there's no doubt the likes of Cody Rhodes or Bobby Lashley would be in contention for the WWE title on Raw. Let us know your thoughts on WWE considering the idea of having Roman Reigns return on SmackDown to make a huge announcement that because of his inactivity in WWE, he will be vacating or relinquishing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and then walking out of the company for the time being. And in your opinion, will having an active world champion on Raw or SmackDown help to increase fan interest in WWE this summer and potentially increase the ratings as well? Let us know. We now have some pretty big news regarding W. Morrissey, formerly known as Big Cass in WWE. According to one of our sources, W. Morrissey has now departed Impact Wrestling as of tonight, and there's now big speculation on where Morrissey will be going next, because he will essentially become a free agent after tonight, and could sign with any promotion. While there is a good chance that Big Cass or W. Morrissey will be making the move to All Elite Wrestling in the near future, there is actually a chance that Morrissey could be on his way back to WWE, because like it had been reported a while back, WWE were reportedly impressed with W. Morrissey after his AEW debut last month, and it is highly possible that Vince McMahon has an interest in bringing Big Cass back to the WWE, after completely revitalizing his career since his release a couple of years ago. Let us know if you guys think Big Cass should return to WWE now that he's left Impact Wrestling, or is AEW the better option for him at this point? Now, after sadly being removed from WWE because of a serious back injury, Randy Orton has basically been forced to retire from the ring, at least for the time being. And while many fans are very upset by Randy Orton's sudden retirement or leave from the ring, especially when RK Bro was involved in such a big feud with the Usos, Randy's health and well-being is definitely the first priority, and he will likely need a lot of time to recover before a return is even a possibility. However, Randy Orton has broke his silence since his sudden leave from WWE, and his former tag team partner Riddle has revealed that he has been in contact with Randy Orton, and that Randy has reacted to his new team with Shinsuke Nakamura, with Randy Orton apparently expressing that he's very happy with Riddle's new team with Nakamura, and hopes to go after the bloodline with everything they can. So clearly Randy is still in high spirits and doing well, despite being forced to the sidelines for the time being, and has basically given Riddle the all clear to team up with Shinsuke Nakamura. For the fans who were hoping that AJ Lee would follow in CM Punk's footsteps and make a thunderous return to wrestling, potentially joining CM Punk in AEW, that does not seem very likely with the latest news revealed regarding AJ Lee. According to one of our sources, AJ Lee most likely will not be returning to wrestle again, because she does not want to risk re-injuring her neck. And in all honesty, this is likely for the best, as AJ Lee does not have anything to prove whatsoever and had a very successful career, and there's no real point risking her health and well-being by returning all these years later. Although this may be unfortunate news for AJ Lee's fans, who have been hoping for an in-ring return.